Hey there and welcome back to Supercar. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Today we're talking about a car that promised so much, the 2025 Dacia Duster. I took it on for a month of daily commuting and honestly I have to say, I ended up with one massive regret. What if the most appealing part of a car, its rugged, ready-for-anything attitude, is actually what makes it a nightmare for your daily grind? For so many of us, the daily commute is the single most important test of a vehicle. When the 2025 Dacia Duster hit the market, it seemed like the perfect answer. It's a stylish, rugged SUV, it's ridiculously affordable, and it's packed with what looks like modern technology. From the outside, it just screams value. I looked at that bold design, the cool LED lights, and the promise of a hybrid engine, and I thought, this is the one. A budget-friendly, fuel-efficient commuter that looks like it could tackle the Dakar Rally. My initial impressions were honestly overwhelmingly positive. In city traffic, it felt light and nimble, the visibility was great, and the steering was responsive. For quick trips to the grocery store or navigating tight parking lots, the Duster was proving to be a fantastic partner. It was the perfect start to a beautiful relationship. It's the moments you don't expect, the little things that build up, that can ruin the whole experience. My commute is a mix of urban traffic and a significant stretch of motorway. For the first few days, the Duster handled it all with a certain charm. The hybrid system was clever in stop-and-go traffic, and the manual gearbox felt satisfying. I was even getting compliments on the car's aggressive looks, but as the honeymoon phase wore off, a quiet dread began to set in. It wasn't a sudden, catastrophic failure. It was the slow, insidious accumulation of little frustrations. The firm suspension that felt sporty in the city began to feel jarring over expansion joints on the highway. The infotainment system, while a huge step up from previous Dacia models, had its own set of quirky, frustrating bugs that popped up when you least expected them. But none of that was the biggest problem. It was something far more fundamental. Imagine buying a new car only to discover that the most common part of your journey is where it fails most spectacularly. My biggest regret, my single greatest frustration with the 2025 Dacia Duster, was the cabin noise. On a quiet side street, it's perfectly fine, but once you hit the highway, it transforms into a symphony of wind, tire, and engine noise. The car's cabin is filled with a lot of hard plastic surfaces, and those materials do a fantastic job of amplifying every single sound. The hybrid engine, which is so quiet in the city, becomes coarse and loud when you need to accelerate to motorway speeds. Trying to have a conversation with a passenger or even just listen to a podcast became a chore. The constant high decibel drone wasn't just annoying, it was genuinely fatiguing. After a long day at work, the last thing you want is a car that adds to your stress, but that's exactly what the Duster was doing. What seemed like a charming, no-frills attitude on paper became a daily, grinding annoyance on the road. The 2025 Dacia Duster is an SUV that presents an undeniable value proposition on paper. It offers a rugged design, a spacious interior, and a competitive price that earned it a Smart Spender award. However, the experience of a daily commute and honestly, the prospect of long-term ownership reveal a set of compromises that transform this promise into a source of significant regret for many drivers. The biggest regret is not a single issue but really the cumulative effect of a vehicle that constantly reminds its owner of where corners were cut. The initially silent hybrid powertrain reveals itself to be unrefined and noisy at speed, a flaw that's definitely amplified by the hard plastics in the cabin. The car's tech, while offering desirable features, introduces frustrating glitches and mandatory safety systems that just run counter to the Duster's simple, no-nonsense appeal. The driver's seats, while seemingly comfortable for a short duration, lack the ergonomic support required for daily commuting. leading to physical discomfort. Most importantly, the financial value, which is the car's core strength, is consistently undermined by disappointing real-world fuel economy and the lurking potential of expensive, out-of-warranty repairs. In the end, the Duster's honest, no-frills philosophy is not as robust as it appears. It is a vehicle that, for a very specific niche of buyers, may be a suitable choice. However, for the daily commuter who expects the advertised value to hold up under scrutiny, the compromises in noise insulation, interior quality, technological refinement, and real-world fuel economy far outweigh the initial cost savings. The disappointment is not just a passing thought. It's a persistent daily feeling that the regret is real, folks, stemming from a fundamental conflict between what was promised and what was delivered. So, where does that leave us? The 2025 Dacia Duster is an incredibly compelling package. It's got the looks, the practicality, and the price point to be a real game changer. It's a great car for short trips, for city dwellers, or for anyone who values rugged, simple transportation over refinement. But if your daily commute involves a significant amount of time at highway speeds, if you value a quiet, comfortable cabin, and if you need a car that doesn't add to the fatigue of a long day, then I have to say this might not be the car for you. My experience proved that while it's a brilliant car in many ways, its one major flaw, the excessive cabin noise, made it a poor choice for my specific use case. It was a regret I lived with every single day.